with yet another DJs BrewTube beer review. You know what, guys? I'm thinking globally today. How am I thinking globally? I'm thinking globally by having a beer from Dr. Fritz Briem today out of Freising, Germany. And what beer am I going to have from today? I'm going to have his Piwo Gordziskie. That's right, or Grätzer Ale in German. Now, Piwo Gordziskie, why are they calling it beer Grodziskie? Because it was from an area called Grodziskie in Poland or Prussia. And then in German, Grodziskie is a Grätzer. So that's where the name came from. Now, a Grätzer as a beer style, which has been around since the 15th century and was really popular in the 1900s, is a sour smoked wheat ale. So I'm expecting some really cool flavor profiles in this. Now, this beer only clocks in at 4% ABV and like between 15 and 40 IBUs. There's a little bit of loosey-goosey stuff going on there. But it's supposed to pack really big flavor in that 4%, like a really big whompy up in the jaw session beer. That's probably why Three Floyds in New Belgium have created this beer, but I wanted to review this beer for you, which I've had a long time ago, before I reviewed the Three Floyds product, because I wanted to show you the German take on it. And now, this particular beer is developed by a really German traditional recipe. And Dr. Fritz Briem is a professor of fermentation out of Weihenstephan, Germany. And why is that important? Because this beer is mass-produced or produced for him at Brauerei Weihenstephan. So, look at those connections, because Brauerei Weihenstephan is where? In Freising, Germany. That's right. So, it's a year-round serving, and as I guess recipes go, it is a pretty traditional beer sounding from what I can tell. The hops are Perle and Saaz in this, and for malts they're using air-dried barley, and they're also using beechwood smoked wheat malt. Now, why is that important? Because beechwood is the main wood that they use for smoking malts in Germany. If you look at like beer from Ex-Schlenkele, almost all their beers, except for the Ex-Schlenkele Eiche, which uses oak smoke, the malts are smoked with beechwood. It's the most available fuel for that, and it's a lot less expensive and a lot less, I guess, rare or precious wood than oak is. This one is using oak smoked malt. So that's why I also wanted to, review this one first. So they're using a German ale yeast in this, and they also put a bit of lactobacillus in this because they use a Digerieren or digestive sort of sour mashing technique where they add lactobacillus to part of the mash, and then they mature this beer on that mash with the lactobacillus. So, it's time to get the top popped on this bad boy. I've told you all kinds of information you probably didn't want to know, but now you do. Let's see what's up with Dr. Fritz Briem Grätzer Ale. Boom. Nice smoke off the top, unremarkable cap. Let's get this bad boy in the glass. Looks crystal clear coming out of the glass so far. Maybe a slight haze to it. Let's get a little aggressive so we can get a head on it. There you go. Yeah, that's right. Look at that bad boy building. Gorgeous looking beer. Let's see. When I hold it up to the light, it's got a very, very mild haze on it. It's well filtered. Oh, I can smell the tartness coming off the top of it from here. And a bit of smoke. So we've got about a finger and a half head of khaki off-white bubbles. They're pretty tight, little soap sudsy at the top. When I swirl it, I can already see that glass lacing wants to cling a bit. And no alcohol legs to speak of. But look at that. It's a lovely golden amber color with some like copper tones mixed in with a lot of that golden yellow color, but really lovely looking beer. Let's get a nose on this and see what's up with this sour smoked wheat ale, or Grätzer. Well, the first thing you're greeted with is that bacony sort of beechwood smoke. After that, I'm getting a bit of tartness, a little bit of like lemony aroma, some floral hops. I guess the lemony aroma is probably coming from the Saaz. A little bit of like sort of malt sweetness, like crackery malt sweetness in the background. But the smoke and the tartness are the dominant. Smoke being first in the aroma. Maybe even almost like a little bit of a briny character to this as well. I know it's not a goza, but it's got a little bit of that to it. So I'm right ready to drink this bad boy. It smells like an awesome smelling session beer. Kind of reminds me of like the awesome aromas that I got off the Jester King sort of like Saison and wild ales I've had. So let's dig into this bad boy, guys. Cheers. Or actually, Prost. Yum. Wow, that's cool. Look at that glass lacing, guys. Instant. Any beer that's brewed at Brauerei Weihenstephan, you know it's going to be precise. Wow, this is a really cool tasting beer. up front, you get a hit of that smoke, like that bacony smoke. Then after that, you get a bit of lemon, some floral hops in there, a bit, and not really big, just a little bit of like tangy sort of tartness in there. It's more of a tang like from like yogurt tang, but milder than like a plain yogurt tang would be. And it's playing really well with the malt bill that they have in there, sort of like that, like I said, that sweet sort of bready, crackery malt in there. Wow, what a well-made beer. Super easy to drink. It's got a medium body. There's even like maybe a bit of like yeasty spiciness almost in there as well. But it's got sort of like the characteristics, like mouthfeel of like a nice wheat beer with the sweetness and stuff that a wheat beer brings. Or like Hefeweizen. But it's got that twist in there of that smoke, which isn't big. It's not a big Rauch beer like up in your grill. It's a real mild bacony smoke mixed in with that bit of tartness and then the sweetness. It's a real flavor adventure, and its taste is a lot bigger than a 4% beer would suggest. Wow. I'm enjoying this one. I'm wondering what this one will taste like, because maybe it's a little bit more big and extreme, because when Three Floyd's involved, they tend to make a little bit more extreme beers, and maybe even New Belgium. But New Belgium is good at using lactobacillus. But as this beer goes, super easy to drink, super tasty, quite refreshing. It's actually got like a dry finish to it. Maybe that's coming from the lactobacillus. But, wow, super easy to drink. Carbonation spot on. Wow. So you see, I'm enjoying this beer. Historical recipe, whatever, quite tasty. What are the other guys rated? Right Beer gives it an 82. I can see some folks doing that. And Beer Advocate gives it an 84. I'm going to give it a B+. I'm going to give it an 88. Really refreshing. A little pricey for a small bottle. It was like $8 for this bottle. But now, sorry, $7 for this bottle. But you know what? It's a style that I wouldn't have otherwise tried, and it's quite tasty, quite refreshing. I would drink it again. And as session beers go, you know, this would be a great one if they had a can. This could be an awesome, flavorful crusher out in the sun if they would have like a 6-pack of a can, maybe in like 16-ounce cans. So I'm giving it a B+. If you guys have had this beer, let me know. I love the quid pro quo. I love the back and forth. Hey, that's what this is all about, so we can have a little bit of dialogue about beer going on. Hell, I just gave you a freaking history lesson about how they made this beer, but man, as you drink more of this, that smokiness kind of comes out, that bacony smokiness. Yum. It's like smoked beer light meets a sour or a tart beer. Wow. Anyways, maybe like if a Rauch beer and a Berliner, like a Rauch Weizen and a Berliner Weiss have a baby. Maybe that's what this is like. Yeah, that's what it's like. This is the love child of Hefeweizen and Berliner Weiss. So, which they make also, Berliner Weiss. So, to the next day, DJs BrewTube guys, thanks a million for each and every one of you for watching. And remember to do me a big favor and think globally. I'm thinking globally. I'm drinking beer from Dr. Fritz Briem. Drink locally, support the craft beer movement, help this thing keep growing so more experimental or redo beers of old styles like this come out. I'm going to kick back, I'm going to chill out, cool down, and enjoy the rest of this beer. Send you a bunch of love and give you what? That's right, you know what's up. A peace out!